Right, this is going to be a follow-up video to Defeating Adventism number 139. That's why this one's 139A. So first what I have to do is give a hat tip to a subscriber, Christina Jeans, who let me know of another video that I needed to listen to, because in the comments, and here's her comment, she actually said this, that Ty Gibson, celebrity Adventist Ty Gibson, said in a video, hey, there's nowhere near 22 million. There's about 6 million. Now, I had watched this video, and here is the video that she was mentioning. And you can see it's over 2 hours long, and it's very painful. But I watched about the first 8 minutes of it because I was told by someone else I needed to watch it because of his testimony in there, which is a very not Christian testimony, which I stopped and recorded that. But I had to listen to more, so I could listen to what he had to say about the 6 million and the 22 million. And he does. Basically, what he does is he says in this video, there aren't 22 million people Adventists attending churches. The number's around 6 million. He doesn't tell us where he gets the numbers from. It's just very interesting thought, observation from the inside. All I can say is paging David Trim, calling David Trim, where are you? Because Ty Gibson here essentially just said publicly, the report you just produced, David Trim, is rubbish, not believable, not fact, but fiction. So, David Trim, come to the plate here and tell us, stand by these numbers, stand by this report that you published and signed, and tell us Ty Gibson is full of nonsense, or, well, maybe Ty Gibson's not full of nonsense. Let's listen to Ty Gibson tell us in this 1 minute and 11-second clip what he thinks the membership rate really is in the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
I mean, we have a crisis on our hands. You know, let me just give you a basic breakdown of how serious the crisis is. Mm-hmm. For example, we say that we have 22 million members, right? This is the number we tell ourselves. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, we're impressed with that number in a population of 8 billion people. The number's not impressive, even if that number were true. Yeah. The reason we say we have 22 million members is because that's how many names we've written down of people we've baptized. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But we also keep other records. We also keep attendance records. And we know that worldwide, really, we only have about 6 million people that are actually showing up.
Wow.
I didn't know that number.
Wow. And that's why we have whole departments. We have whole departments that are called missing and inactive members. Yeah. That we're trying to figure out, well, like if you go to any local church, I just do this. Mm-hmm. Go to any local church and say, how many members do you have? Whatever number they give you. They say 100, 500, 1,000. Yeah. You can cut it in half with the next question. How many people attend? How many people show up?
I would actually say you could cut it in half and cut it in half again. I think it's more like a quarter.
Well, for the North American division, it's only 37%.
Yeah, it's wild.
So 37% of the names on the books is what are actually showing up and participating.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have an emergency on our hands.
All right, so here we have Ty Gibson telling us, and here's the actual membership report. Here's the 22 million that he was citing, and he's telling us it's 6. What reason do I have to doubt what Ty Gibson said? Now, maybe it's not 6 million, maybe it's 10 million, maybe it's 12 million, but I think the point is it's not 22. And I think virtually everybody would agree with that fact. I keep hearing, now that I've made this video, I get even more comments from former Adventists around the world who can't get their names off the church books. This number is inflated. The only question is, by how much? So Ty Gibson drew his line in the sand and says, it's not 22, I think it's 6. That's incredible. I'm going to run with his number, 6. You know what that means? There's a 73% decrease here. This number here is inflated by 73%. So to get to 6, there's Ty's 6 million right there. So I'm going to take him at that number, which means I have to reduce current membership numbers here by 73% to get the new number so that it equals 6 million. In order to do this, there's the rate right there. So there would be the new membership rate if Ty's correct. Now, to get to that number, I had to multiply the old number by this factor of 0.2765 to arrive at this number here, which means we got to shave 15 million members off. Look at these differences here. Look at the ones that are in excess of 1 million. You know, East Central Africa went from 4.9 million to 1.3 million. In other words, we shaved 3.5 million off, etc. And the ones that were already small, trans-European, was, 89,000 is now 24,000. They're really small. Talk about, I did it in the first video. You saw it. I said, some of these divisions are so small, they are just ripe for consolidation. If these numbers are true, then Trans-European doesn't need to exist. Northern Asia Pacific doesn't need to exist. Inter-European doesn't need to exist. Look, Euro-Asia, gone. All these should be consolidated because they don't justify the overhead expenses. This is huge. This has, besides the impact I just mentioned, has an impact on the tithe per capita. So what I did was, let me do this impact on tithe per capita if the membership rate is 6 million. See, here's the original tithe per capita based on 22 million members. Well, what happens if the tithe per capita is now recalculated based on this adjusted rate? Look at the tithe per capita now. Well, of course it goes up because membership goes down. So this $15 tithe per capita becomes 54. See, here was the lowest one here at 10. It becomes 36. How about the highest, North America? At 1471, it becomes 5319. Here's the significance I see for that. Because remember what I said in the first video. You lose a North American tither, you've lost $1,400 a year. Well, if this number is correct, you don't lose $1,400, you lose $5,300. This is even more significant than I thought. Very interesting. Well, like I said, look at these differences. Some of them are small, some of them are huge. So what I did was I thought, well, Ty Gibson appeared to cite this 6 million number like he knows something. I thought, well, what would David Trim's statistical office say about this? Surely they would say, Ty, hush up, because we just issued an official report. So what I did was I wrote the statistical office. They have a contact form. I told them what I watched. I watched the Ty Gibson video. Ty Gibson said 6 million. You can see it all written here. So full disclosure, I sent it to them. This is what I got. I didn't know they were going to respond so quick, but they responded the same day, and here was their response. Now I blurred out the response, the person. Not important. I'm not going to call them out. They don't need to be part of this. But you know what they did from the statistical office? They doubled down. They said our membership rate is 22 million. I thought, you gotta be kidding me here. I think it's pretty certain 22 million members is not 22 million members. What's uncertain is how much is that figure inflated. According to Ty Gibson, it's inflated by 73%. It's inflated by some percent because I keep hearing all the Adventist stories. This number is fake. It's the only question is by how much. I'm going to use a term here to, in my opinion, describe the Seventh-day Adventist Statistical Report as the books are being cooked. What do I mean by that? It's usually a financial term. And by cooking the books, and you can see in Investopedia, this is investment, this is financial. To cook the books means it's a slang term. It's an accounting tricks to make the company's financial results, I'll call this membership results, look better than they really are. And so you know what I think we have here in Adventism? We got the books being cooked. We may not know how much they're being cooked. Are they well done or medium rare or rare? But they're being cooked. And these numbers here, frankly, are not to be believed. We just don't know by how much. If the Adventist Church was ever to purge their rolls and show active members, I'll stick with my original opinion, there would literally be millions, maybe even 10 million falling off the rolls. We'll see if the Adventist Church takes this seriously at one point in time or another.